properly understand the limitations of the first Adam, we've got to see the ability of the second Adam. He was supposed to have just as much power, but he forfeited it, and now Jesus has to bring it back. Can I give you the scene and the scenario for just a moment? He's in the wilderness of Jeshimon. He's there because in Jeshimon there are little pieces of limestone. He comes to the place where he gets so hungry until the tempter comes and asks him to command that the stones be made bread. Now, before I begin to talk about the devil and the temptation itself, let's deal with the point of the test, the person doing the testing, and the place of the test. The point of the test is one of the most erroneous places you would think on top of the surface, because Jesus has just come out of his honorarium celebration. His daddy stood up just like the people stood up and bragged on Gooden. Jesus' daddy stood up and said, "This is my beloved son, and whom I'm well pleased." It's the honorarium celebration. And just when he's about to go to Golden Corral, sit down and order a steak and eat the buffet, the Spirit says, "Go into the wilderness." Sometimes promotion comes with a painful price. Oh God, help me right now. You ain't had the hellhounds loose until you get promoted. You ain't wrestled with devils until you get promoted. You ain't fought like you're going to fight unless you get promoted, because the greater the assignment, the greater the agony connected to the assignment that God has for your life. The person doing the testing is the Holy Ghost. The place of the test is Jeshimon. I told you it's famous for the limestone that looks like unleavened bread, but Jeshimon is strategically positioned in the middle of the Dead Sea and Jerusalem, and so it's an inflection point that brings a defining moment within itself. It's Jesus' honorarium celebration. In Luke 2:52, he says he's been increased with wisdom and stature and favor with God. He's got the favor of God. He's got this particular assignment to fulfill, and now he comes to John, his cousin, and asks him to baptize him that he may prepare for the sacrifice that lies ahead. Please don't miss this, because it's not a celebration like one person would think. It's a celebration that brings an end to one season and brings the beginning of a new season. He's coming to be baptized because the baptism prepares him to die. It's an act of sacrifice before the sacrifice. John agrees now to put him in the water, because now if you're going to truly be great, you've got to be willing to subject yourself to stuff that may bring humiliation, but it's going to be a part of the futuristic promotion. Humble yourself, Jesus, sacrifice, and let John baptize. Gooden said this, and I quoted, he said, "No person was ever honored for what he receives. He's honored for what he gives." I like to tell the story of a pig and a cow one time talking in the barn. And as they began to talk in the barn, the cow got a little arrogant and looked at the pig and said, "You really smell bad." He said, "And I don't know what the problem is with you anyway. Folk always looking at you and wanting you, but they ain't got nothing. When they get me, they get T-bone steaks. When they get me, they get pot roast. When they get me, they get milk. They get cheese and they get butter." He said, "I don't know what the problem is. Don't nobody want no chickens and no hog maws. Don't nobody want that stuff right there." The pig got a little mad with him and said, "Let me tell you something, Mr. Cow." He said, "I offer much more than you offer. They can eat my pig feet, my pig ears. They eat my pig tails. They get my loin roast. They get my pork chops and my bacon and my sausage." He said, "Shall we go on?" He said, "Okay, pig, you won." He said, "But let me help you with something. Notice how everybody always celebrates celebrates me, and everybody always runs from you. The pig looked at him and said, you're right. Why? He said, maybe because in order for you to give, you got to die. But I give while I'm still alive. I wonder, will God have to kill something in your life for him to get the greatest sacrifice? You got it. You rode the short bus. Your bus is here.